911, what is the location of your emergency?
Hi, 2535 Washington. He's right there, shot, fired. Please, please, hurry.
Tonight on News 6, the terrifying 911 call moments after officials say a man shot and killed his grandparents in West Melbourne. Plus, a member of the National Guard shot and killed in Washington, D.C. What we're learning from the suspected shooter and the investigation. Also, as Thanksgiving wraps up, many are planning their trips home. We spoke to travelers looking to get a head start on what will be a busy travel weekend. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thanksgiving. I'm Ginger Gadsden. We begin tonight in East Orange County, where the sheriff's office says 2 people are dead after a shooting at an apartment complex. A suspect is in custody tonight, but it is still a very active scene. Your Orange County community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton, spoke with a neighbor.
It's a grim Thanksgiving for some here at this apartment complex after officials say 2 people were shot and killed and a suspect was taken into custody. Multiple police cars and caution tape surround a part of Academy at Waterford Lakes Apartments just off Cedar Bend Circle. Officials say they were called just after 4 p.m. about the shooting. Although they are not releasing any names, they say the man who was shot and killed was in his 30s and the woman, she was in her 40s. As for the suspect, he is also in his 40s. One woman who lives at the apartment complex just came back from a Thanksgiving dinner. She says she was shocked at what she saw.
That's not something I would ever have thought coming home to. You know what I mean?
Emotionally, just right now, how are you feeling?
Yeah, a little bit like nervous. I'm like, should I even stay here? Like, hopefully it was like just meant for that person. Not sorry to say that, but like, I'm just nervous. I don't even know if I should go home.
We're still working to find out more information, but once we do, we'll make sure to keep you updated right here on News 6. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
For the first time, we are hearing the terrifying call for help from that July night when investigators say a young man drove all the way from Texas to Brevard County and killed his grandparents. Bullets tore through a neighbor's front door. Your West Melbourne community correspondent James Barbero has been pressing the state attorney's office about a note left inside the grandparents' home. And tonight, James may have uncovered a possible motive behind the murders.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
Hi, 2535 Washington. He's right there, shot, fired. Please, hurry.
As soon as the Brevard Sheriff's Office says 83-year-old George White ran to his neighbor's house after his grandson, Jeremiah Campbell, shot his 81-year-old wife, Mary White, those neighbors called 911 as bullets came flying through their front door.
Are you safe?
No, I don't know. And someone is shot. My daughter is 25 and shot. It started at the neighbors, and he came over, and I let him in, and I locked the door. And as soon as I let him in and locked the door, the shot started firing.
The young woman lived. Since my last report on this tragedy, the state attorney's office also gave me this note the sheriff's office says was on the White's refrigerator. In my last story, I told you deputies said when they caught Campbell, he said some bizarre things like Satan was in his head. There's more comments along those lines written on the note. It's titled Daily Confessions, and the first of these bullet points reads, "Every curse of limitation in my life shall be destroyed by fire today in the name of Jesus."
He wanted his grandfather dead.
I met neighbor Terry French in July after George White was shot in his house and Terry's granddaughter was wounded too. Now, what could be our first hint at a possible motive? I also just learned, working to get answers from prosecutors, that a family member told deputies Campbell and his grandparents had an argument earlier that night because the family thought he was on drugs. The state attorney's office filed second-degree murder charges against Campbell, so the maximum penalty he could face if convicted is life in prison. And we'll continue to bring you any new evidence as prosecutors work to build their case before trial. In Brevard County, I'm your West Melbourne community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
New tonight, President Trump announcing one of the National Guard members who was shot while patrolling the nation's capital yesterday has died from her injuries. The U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia says the suspect faces at least 4 felony charges. Natalie Brand has more from Washington.
Investigators say the suspect in the shooting of 2 National Guard members patrolling the nation's capital on Wednesday drove cross-country to carry out an ambush attack.
A lone gunman opened fire without provocation, ambush style, armed with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver.
The West Virginia National Guard members have been identified as 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Andrew Wolf.
Right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away.
Officials identified the suspect as 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakhanwal of Washington State, an Afghan national who entered the U.S. in 2021 following the American withdrawal from the war-torn country. The CIA said Lakhanwal previously worked with the U.S. government in Afghanistan. A Department of Homeland Security official tells CBS News the suspected gunman was granted asylum earlier this year on humanitarian grounds.
We must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country.
In addition, the director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services says he has ordered at the direction of President Trump a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of all green cards for every immigrant from more than a dozen countries of concern, including Afghanistan. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Let's take a live look now at downtown Orlando. This is from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. It looks like a beautiful night out there, and there are some changes in store in the forecast. So let's get right over to meteorologist David Nazario. David, I think I can already feel some of the changes happening.
Oh yeah, it's definitely happening. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. We're definitely in that Thanksgiving mood right now, especially when you look outside, you take a look at these temperatures. We're already beginning to fall. In comparison to yesterday, we were much warmer and a lot more muggier, but that dry air and the cold air is coming down quickly. Look at Ocala in the upper 40s right now. Whoa, we're on a little bit of a roller coaster ride right there. They just swung the camera around on us. That's how much the wind is blowing out there right now. I'm just kidding. It's not that breezy out there, but that front did come through very quickly. If you look to the lower portion of the screen there, that's what's left of the front. We did have some rain sneaking through Lake Sumter and Polk County earlier today, but a lot of our interior and eastern counties didn't quite see any of it. Temperatures outside right now, you can see the upper 40s sneaking into our northwestern counties. The rest of us in the mid to upper 50s, some 60s still out there, and that cold air is really beginning to work in. You can see the winds cranking out of the northwest, gusting anywhere between 10 to 15 miles an hour. But as the temperatures drop pretty substantially, the next 24 to 36 hours are not going to be around for long. We do have that chilly snap for the next cool couple days, but then warmer days are ahead as the pattern continues to flip. Ginger?
David, thank you. Get that camera under control. All right, we'll see in a little bit. Well, deputies in Volusia County say they've arrested 2 men in connection with an attempted home invasion last week. Jamar Battle and James Cropper Jr. were arrested in Orlando with the help of the Orlando Police Gang Task Force. You may remember this terrifying video of 4 men who tried to break into a home on Wainwright Street in Deltona last week. A doorbell camera recorded the suspects trying to force their way in, and when they were unable to breach the front door, they fired shots at the house and then drove away. Now, no one was hurt in this, and it is still an open investigation. In Osceola County, a teacher accused of sending inappropriate photos to one of her students appeared before a judge today. Yasmar Ramos Figueroa was arrested yesterday. The sheriff's office says a mom reported it back in October after she found disturbing photos on her son's phone. Ramos Figueroa was a PE teacher at Central Point Christian Academy. The judge ordered her to have no contact with the victim or any minor children, and she is not allowed to use the internet. Her attorney says she is not currently teaching. A lot of families are getting a Thanksgiving meal thanks to a huge volunteer effort. The Salvation Army and Valencia College's culinary program teaming up to serve more than 7,000 people a full holiday feast. News 6's Mark Lehman is showing us how everything came together and the impact it's having on the community.
When it comes to Thanksgiving traditions, you'd be hard-pressed to find one that touches as many lives as what's happening right here. It's a simple meal, but it means so much more to the people taking part and volunteers putting it all together.
Watch yourself.
A feast coming together well before sunrise. Valencia College's culinary arts program cooking up the Salvation Army's annual Thanksgiving community meal.
We walked through the night and now we're finishing up in the morning. So it's a large operation. It's about 100 people we're pulling in here.
A literal ton of turkey baked up, along with nearly the same amount of the classic side dishes. Each volunteer taking pride in the more than 7,000 prepared meals.
You know, to be able to help the people and have that feeling that I did something for Thanksgiving, that always lends itself pretty heavily.
But this dinner is so much more than the food on the plate.
This is really meaningful to those who might otherwise be alone, feel lonely, feel depressed. So I've said to others, this could be the spark that they need.
A spark of hope and inspirational connection.
So we used to be in this situation, and we're not forgetting where we come from and get the joy of this Thanksgiving meal with everybody else, and that means a lot to me.
Addison Brown says he's thankful for the Salvation Army's help in recovering from homelessness. He's also grateful to see so many taking the time to give back this holiday.
It could be at home right now, but instead they're willing to sacrifice being home and just to do this, and I appreciate everyone who involved in it.
This Thanksgiving feast is just one of several holiday programs hosted each year by the Salvation Army. We posted a link of their other endeavors under this story on clickorlando.com. In Orlando, and happy Thanksgiving. Mark Lehman, News 6.
And another Thanksgiving tradition continued this morning as the Orlando Magic gave back to the unsheltered with their annual Thanksgiving breakfast. The event supports people staying at the Coalition for the Homeless and others in our community struggling with food insecurity. Magic officials say head coach Jamal Mosley made today's breakfast possible. The tradition has been going strong for 3 decades now, and after the meal, families enjoyed face painting and some balloon art. Well, today, while most people were eating turkey meals, some were out looking for deals. After years of rising prices, many shoppers are still feeling frustrated. But surveys show retailers are optimistic heading into the holiday shopping season. And as News 6's Laverne McGee shows us, some Central Florida shoppers wasted no time getting a head start.
I didn't quite know what to expect when I came out to see if anyone was shopping on Thanksgiving Day, but here at H Mart, the parking lot is absolutely packed.
It's packed with people.
From skincare to kids' toys to groceries, H Mart on West Colonial in Orlando was full of shoppers. Darlene Heitoff was one of many people who decided to get a start on Christmas shopping for her granddaughter, even though she says money doesn't seem to go as far.
Just a little toy that I bought for her to hang on her backpack when she goes to school. $10. What are you going to do?
Other shoppers agreed.
Things are definitely inflated this year, so we'll scale it back a little bit.
I've been seeing the prices on a lot of electronics been spiked lately.
Despite inflation, higher prices, and tariffs, the National Retail Federation says a record 186.9 million people are planning to shop from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday this year. And that figure is up more than 3 million total shoppers from the previous record of 183.4 million last year. People are spending, but in some instances getting less value. But the holiday shopping goes on. Heitoff says she plans to get gifts for her entire family.
Even though the prices are higher and there's inflation.
Oh, I noticed that. It's amazing how much higher, but, we do what we have to do.
In Orlando, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Thanksgiving week means busy travel, but some are getting a head start. Up next, a look at what to expect this weekend and the travelers hitting the road today. And there are less than 100 days until the Winter Olympics, and the torch has already begun its long journey. You're watching News 6 at 10 on a Thanksgiving night covering Winter Springs, St. Cloud, and all of Central Florida. We are now just about 70 days away from the Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy. And this week, the Olympic flame began its journey toward the opening ceremonies. This was the scene Tuesday night in Greece. The ceremony is usually held outdoors, but weather forced officials to move it inside. The flame is traditionally lit by focusing the sun's rays on a concave mirror, but with overcast skies, they relied on a backup flame. After arriving in Italy, the torch will make its way across the country, carried by about 10,000 runners. And you may remember back in 2022, Central Florida was proudly represented on Team USA. Ocala's Joey Mantilla, Aaron Jackson, and Brittany Bowe. Mantilla and Bowe brought home bronze medal for speed skating, and Aaron Jackson won gold in the 500 meters, now becoming the first Black American woman to win an Olympic medal in speed skating. This is video from their homecoming after the Beijing Games. The 2026 Winter Olympics kicks off February 6th. Millions of people are traveling by air or car this Thanksgiving weekend, with Orlando as the top destination. Now, according to AAA, this Sunday is expected to be the busiest day for air and road travel. Your Orange County community correspondent Tylisa Hampton spoke with travelers who are trying to get ahead of the rush.
Get my turkey and go.
For those hitting the road on Thanksgiving to get home, it's all part of the plan to beat the post-holiday rush.
And so was there a strategy coming back today instead of tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be crazy. It would have been terrible. we would not have made it back in time.
Nearly 82 million Americans are expected to travel this Thanksgiving season, with one of the heaviest travel days nationwide as the Sunday after Thanksgiving. AAA also notes majority of travelers are choosing to drive after recent flight cancellations. With Orlando listed as the top destination this holiday, Florida Highway Patrol troopers say they're preparing to be all hands on deck.
We're going to have a lot more inbound and outbound traffic in our state through the roads. But if we're all patient and we're all prepared, then we can all be safe.
Some drivers say they already know they'll be sitting in traffic.
Make the best of it, right? So we're just family time, listen to music, crack jokes, it'll be fine.
For those flying back on Thanksgiving, they're also trying to avoid the airport nightmare. Orlando International Airport also projects Sunday to be their busiest day this Thanksgiving season, with over 177,000 travelers, and recommends arriving at least 3 hours before departure.
We've been allowing a little extra time to get to the airport, but, try and make it stress-free as possible.
If you want to be stress-free behind the wheel, AAA notes the heaviest traffic window on Sunday will be after 11 a.m.
If you don't want to sit in it, leave early.
Reporting for News 6, I'm Tylisa Hampton.
Oh boy. Well, there is a new top dog, and her name is Soleil. The National Dog Show is held every year on Thanksgiving, hosted by the Kennel Club of Philadelphia. This was its 24th year. Soleil is a Belgian sheepdog and was named Best in Show. Look at how beautiful she is. She also won the herding group competition. Her handler says the crowd may have helped with her performance.
She was feeding off the energy. She loved the crowd. She loved the adrenaline. And when she feels that and she feels the passion behind everybody, it gets her excited. And the more cheering and the more elevated everything is, the more she feels confident. I mean, she loves it. And like I said, she loves the crowd. So it felt great.
Such a good girl. The contestants are judged on their overall appearance, temperament, and structure based on their breed's standards. Soleil is the first Belgian sheepdog to win Best in Show.
Wow, look at that.
I know, they're all winners in my book.
Absolutely, yeah.
Seriously, all proud. All right, meteorologist David Nazario joins us now. David, you can already feel the winds of change happening out there.
Quite literally, the winds are ripping out of the northwest right now. That front came through us very quickly today, and we had some sneaky rains out there as well.
Oh, I got some of that.
Oh, very good. Okay, some of us did, some of us didn't. I should say a lot of us didn't, to tell you the truth. We got some nice rains over in Haines City and Polk County. It was mainly a western Central Florida event. They were very fast moving. They were in and out within minutes, I would say. So let's get you some headlines first and foremost before I begin to break everything down, because we've actually got a lot going on. It's going to get a little turbulent out there, for lack of better terms. So first and foremost, that Thanksgiving cold plunge we've been talking about for a while now has arrived. It's here, and it's going to be the wind chill factor once again. Those feels like temperatures, particularly for your Friday morning, for those of you getting out and about for the Black Friday shopping spree. sprees or headed back to work as the Thanksgiving holiday winds down. Those are going to be near freezing, feels like temperatures hanging out for your Friday morning. But then you look at the bottom headline there. We're going to get to warming up pretty quickly. Let's look at the water vapor satellite together. Let's break down the pattern. We've got this cold plunge over the central and eastern half of the United States. That's that big old trough driving the front down to the south. And as a result, the subtropical warmth that was overhead for a while since the last time we were talking cold blasts has been bullied into the Atlantic, and we've dried out pretty substantially. Much of the United States tonight are near freezing, if not well below freezing. You can see that swath of blue working across the eastern half of the country, making its way into central Florida, and it will be arriving tonight. We're not too cold out there right now. You can see upper 40s to low 50s across the board, some 60s out there still. But as we get into the early morning hours of your Friday, these temperatures are going to continue to drop. When we compare where we were this time yesterday, we're already pushing about a 20-degree difference in some spots. Gainesville and Ocala coming in at an 18-degree difference. So those temperatures are once again, I quote, falling off a cliff for certain. When you look at the forecast lows for tonight, on average about 46, so not as cold as the last blast we had through here. Cold air is going to continue to move in as the winds pick up. These are your forecast lows for tonight. Freeze warning in effect for Alachua County, the Gainesville area. The rest of us are going to stay comfortable in terms of the air temperatures. It's the feels like temperatures that'll drop to about freezing. High temperature for tomorrow on average mid-60s. We're going to struggle to get to the average temp of about 70, 73 degrees with lots of sunshine, just not a lot of warmth to go around. When you look at the hourly temperatures and see the average, boom, is 76. We're not going to see that here in central Florida, but there's a twist. As this high pressure stays to our north, the winds are going to stay elevated, and as a result, we're going to see breezing conditions out of the north, currently transitioning back out of the east as we go over time, and then we get another storm system that begins to flare up to our northwest that may bring some rain in. So as you can see, winds are going to stay fairly breezy as we welcome back a little bit of moisture off the east coast. That's what could possibly drive our rain chances up as we go through Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday. And then look at this big old storm system as we get another dip in the jet stream that's going to be coming down, possibly going to bring up our rain chances as we get into the first couple of days of December. Going to be watching that very closely. And then finally, the tropics. Hurricane season is winding down. We got 3 days to go. Had a little bit of a scare there, but nothing is expected. Should be able to wrap this up quietly. Now, let's look at the 7-day forecast together. Like I said, rocky road ahead. We're going to warm up fast after Black Friday, Saturday, and the first couple days of December. We're going to be tracking those rain chances for Monday and Tuesday. We'll dial those in over the next couple of days. Ginger, back to you.
David, thank you. Some people started their Thanksgiving morning with a race to the finish. You may have heard about turkey trot, right? Well, up next, photojournalist Charles Holmes shows us how a lot of people in Sanford were trotting this morning.
Today is our 16th annual Turkey Day 5K. We have just over 2,000 participants. Most of the proceeds and donations are going to the Sharing Center.
It's extremely helpful because we have a need. We've seen a big increase in the number of families that we provide for. We've almost doubled our daily output at our pantry that we give out food every day. So this is a great opportunity to help us to be able to provide for those families.
One person can't do it all, but when you can get a bunch of people together, and last year we opened up donations, financial donations. So last year we only had about 2,000. This year we got almost $3,000.
Go Mom!
How was it? It's tough. It was tough. My goal was to get up and run. I reached my goal. How was it?
Oh, that's good. It's great.
You get out there and you get the heart rate going, and then by the end of it, you're like, how much do I have left?
And here he comes.
Oh, it was so much fun. I got off the plane this morning at 2 a.m. Flying down from Wisconsin. There was some snow that delayed us. So I switched turkey trots. I was going to run a different one. But, you know, something brought me here. God brought me here to run this one, and it went really well. Yeah, so I got first place and ran a time of like 16:40, maybe 16:41. Oh, I'm just so grateful. You know, ran all throughout high school, college athlete right now in my second year. I don't think I've ever won a race.
So how does it feel to be the first female to win this?
Great.
Tell me about it. How did you train?
Well, I do soccer too, so it helps. I just have to keep on running every day, like miles and 2 miles to train.
Thanks for joining us this Thanksgiving night. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus. We'll see you back here on air at 11. Bye.